If I'm going to ask somebody what the movie's about, I don't want to know what the movie's about, so that when they tell me, I'll really be interested. And I got a call and they said, would you like to come and guest host this Late Late Show? And I was like, sure. Because what else am I going to do? And I went down and fitted, I think I was after Anna Gasteyer was before me, and I can't remember who was after me. And I went in to do it. Beforehand, I talked to Peter Lassalle and I said, thank you very much for thinking of me. This is really nice. And it should be a lark, is what I said, which I don't really say ever. But I decided I was an upper class Englishman for that one. This should be a lark. And he said, no, this is not a lark. He said, if I'm right about you, you're lightning in a bottle. I remember this very specifically. He said, you're lightning in a bottle. If I'm right about you, you're lightning in a bottle. You're it, if I'm right. You're the guy that we're looking for. And I said, okay.
No pressure.
Yeah, and I went away and I thought, poor old man's going to see that. But I think he was right. Because I found it was like finding out that you can knit, having never taken any knitting lessons. I did my first show and I thought, I can do this. I can do this. There's very few things in my life I'm very confident about. I'm not confident really about most things, but I know how to do that. I know how to do it. I know how to talk my way out of trouble. I grew up in Scotland. You know, talking my way out of trouble is one of the first things I learned. So, talking to a couple of actors.
Right. What was Letterman's input in all this?
Zero. David works on his show and does that. What he did do is he provided me with an environment, this is David, personally, that was protected. Now, we all work in this business, I presume, and you know how impatient this business is for gratification. You must succeed, and you must succeed right now, or you're cancelled. But David's very powerful, and the deal that he had with the time slot was that I'm putting whatever I want in there, and if it fails, okay. And of course I did, and then didn't. And that combined with the relationship I had previously with Les Moonves, created a very kind of a protected environment where I could find out, I could do different things. I could kind of take my time and kind of stumble and not be cancelled right away.
Yeah, Leslie was still running Warner Brothers when you started.
But he was running Warner Brothers when I was there, so I knew him. I kind of figured that was my ace in the hole. That I knew him. But apparently, lots of people know Les, so it wasn't my ace in the hole at all. But he and David provided that environment, and still do.
What was Moonvest's line to you when you got the gig? And feel free to do your best Les Moonves impersonation.
Well, I wouldn't be attempting that. I think he just said, "Don't fuck up." That's kind of what Les would say.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up. And then went to conquer Portugal or something. Whatever he did next, like take over the NFL or whatever he's doing.
Exactly. World domination. Mm-hmm. Every interview you start off by ripping up those index cards.
Yeah, that's just a kind of protest. That's a kind of it's a kind of like I'm not going to do what your publicist told you I was going to do. That's what it started as, and what it became is now it's just some stupid OCD thing, I suppose. But
it's tradition now.
Right, I just do it. But they, the researchers, the second producers make them. They're not props.
Yeah,
they're really done, and they still do them. And I put them up.
Do you read them before the movie starts?
No. Look, the way I see it is this: and this is an argument I've had with my own publicist, who I like very much, but this idea that, so I've got, movie star A is going to be on the show. Movie star A wants you to see their movie before they come on the show. And I'm like, no. And they're like, you've got to, it's disrespectful. I'm like, no, it's not disrespectful, it's stupid. If I'm going to ask somebody what the movie's about, I don't want to know what the movie's about, so that when they tell me, I'll really be interested. As opposed to, doing some kind of weird, pretend, made up, badly rehearsed conversation with someone who doesn't care for me. I mean, if I wanted that, I'd have stayed with my first wife. But that's kind of what I feel about it. That if it's a real conversation. Look, it's not always. I don't do anything. I know who these people are.
Yeah.
And I like, you don't invite Bishop Desmond Tutu on your show and say, oh, so what do, Bishop? Yeah, I hear you're a bishop. How's that going? What's it like in the bishop world? That.
Tutu, that's a funny last name.
Yeah. Did people kid you in school about that? So what you do is you do the appropriate amount, or what I like to do is do the appropriate amount of research. That doesn't mean Google somebody. I mean, a little more than that. When it's warranted, if it's a movie star that I know who it is, then they turn up, I know their name, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the ads for the movie, I've probably seen the trailer. I haven't seen the movie though.
Are there stars that fear doing your show because it's such a freewheeling conversation?
Yes.
Yeah? Anyone?
No, I'm not saying that, they might change their mind. Yes, there are people who are like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And on the flip side, you have stars who love coming on because they love doing this.
Yeah, there are people who enjoy it. There are big stars who seem to thrive in that environment. Who I think if they're very big stars, like Tom Hanks has a great time on the show because he doesn't give a shit. He's Tom Hanks.
Right.
Like when an appearance in my show goes badly, his career's screwed up. That's not going to happen. So he's fine. It's like people who are relaxed about their position. Whether they're, anarchic personalities, or so therefore they don't really care, or they're wonderfully successful, so they don't really care, or their life is in the shitter, so they don't really care. The common denominator is they have to not really care.
Well, you find a lot of comedy in things going wrong anyway. I mean, that's some of the best moments are when the power goes out, or when things don't go quite as scripted.
I think that's out of necessity. I mean, the alternative is if the power goes out in the studio, I could stop tape and then wait till it's fixed. But then I'd be there for hours. I want to hang around TV City for hours. I want to do my job and leave. So if the power goes out, I'll keep going unless they stop me. Also, I had I had done stand-up and I had done theatre in Scotland. And that stuff happens in live theatre. It happens all the time. So you keep going. Just keep going. Like I'm going to do now. I'll keep going until you ask me something.
All right.